talk to his people. The state chairman of the party, Mr. Ini Okobiro. Sir, you're welcome.
APC
Change.
APC
Change.
With very special regards to the former governor of Rivers and Osun State. Special regards to my very brother, distinguished Senator J.J. Udoedere. With special regards to the wife, and of course my sister, and my brother, Barrister Dan Abia, a co-contestant. Let me, for want of time, recognize the established protocol. It is a very unique opportunity that we have, that the members of APC in Akwa Ibom State, in their numbers, have gathered here once again today. What has happened here is unprecedented. I have seen my brother contesting for the office of the governor under the platform of the party, coming here in support of another aspirant. Is that not unique? We have a duty to change the government of Akwa Ibom State. And by this singular action of your adoption of President Muhammadu Buhari, I congratulate all of you, and I tell you, Mr. President shall be returned as the President of Nigeria in 2019. I want to use this opportunity to congratulate Senator J.J. Akpan Udoedere for making himself available to be selected as a candidate of the party in Akwa Ibom State for the platform of APC. Let me tell all of you, the party has adopted a system of direct primaries, and we are going to select the best candidate for this party. And I urge all of you to stand out and make sure that you select the best candidate that you are going to use to drive away PDP from Akwa Ibom State. If you nominate, I assure you, if the people of APC in Akwa Ibom State nominate Senator J.J. Udoedere as the candidate of the party, he will be accepted as the candidate of the party, and he shall flag the flag of APC in Akwa Ibom State. And other parties joining us because they have seen the light for what President Muhammadu has done in this country. All Akwa Ibomites have seen the light, and I use the light, and I use this opportunity in the name of the God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, to welcome and hand over this insignia of authority to the latest member of our party, to use this insignia of authority and sweep away PDP and all the iniquities in Jesus' name.
Call on Eboro, our senatorial candidate aspirants. Kufra Bazejo, see you, no? APC! 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 Have you seen your senator? God bless you people. God bless you people. God bless you people.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. APC! This is the time we have to start now to congratulate our son of the soil, Senator Okpan James Udoedere, calling the governor 2019. Yes, sir. Now, this is your man, Otumba J.J. Udoma, representing Uyo Federal Constituency. constituency. Make some noise! Make some noise! ABC! ABC! We are going to change the government. Thank you very much.
Welcome to Mba for House of Reps.
APC! APC!
Change!
Now, 2019, we have the landlord coming back to Kwaibo. And that's Senator Dr. John Udoidere, 2019. The landlord is coming back to Kwaibo. Everybody go out and vote. Everybody go out and do what? On when? Saturday. Okay, you vote for the landlord. Yes. And I am Akbanabong Itwen for your constituency. Thank you.
Can we appreciate Akbanabong in our midst? APC! APC!
I'm very happy to be here today again. Just like yesterday, you know what to do. This is the real deal. His Excellency Dr. J.J. Akpan Uroide is the real thing. Anything different from this is nothing. So get ready, okay? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Did anybody ever think that this is going to be? Did anybody ever think this is going to be? Say it, oh, 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 oh. Say it, oh, 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 oh. Say it, oh, 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 oh. Yeah. Here it is, here it is. Blessed to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, defend the unity and uphold our honor and glory. So help me, Jah.
Best mandators.
This is the real deal, and this is the real candidate who is going to do everything for you the way it's supposed to be done.
Mandator on our stage. Mandator on stage. Are you ready? We can see the distinguished senator, the governor in Washington.
Let's do Nigeria, man.
I can see some of you will be supporting the
so every child. Yes, I mean everything I'm saying, and I want you to be honest. Tonight we stand to celebrate that Bible. We celebrate that Bible. They turn around and want my faces every day. How many reasons do we have to? Have you seen that? You know that we rise to the top. We are getting right to the top. Rise to the top. Come on. Rise to the top. Rise to the top. Rise to the top. Somebody rise to the top. Right now. Rise to the top. ABC. Rise to the top. Rise to the top. Nigeria. Rise to the top. Rise to the top. Stand up, rise to the top. Stand up, rise to the top. We need more progress. We need more job. We need more progress. Rise to the top. We need security. Rise to the top. We need honesty. Rise to the top. We need transparency. Rise to the top. We need great change. Rise to the top. We don't want corruption. Rise to the top. Got to kill corruption. Rise to the top. You got to elect food on there. You got to elect food on there. Rise up. Rise to the top. Rise up. Are you rising now? Are you rising now?
Rise to the top.
Are you rising up?
Rise to the top.
Akwa Ibom.
Hey. Check out the to the top.
Udoide.
Rise to the top. Rise to the top.
Rise up.
Rise to the top.
Rise up.
Rise to the top.
Say the Say the Yeah, man. Yes. We come again in another style. But it's the one is a right style. Here we come again in another style of the song. Right style is a true style. Think of it like a just to make you feel like it. What is it, my style? What is it? Propaganda is a reality. That is something of the masses. They take something itself. Situation getting worse. What is it been? Feelings was a neck. Who puts right to the other? It's a rough place.
Let's go! You see that? You see that?
That's not the piece of the action. We are just telling you what is going to happen when we start our campaign. We started the remix. We brought opposition to Akwa Ibom State. I remember when I snapped with mandators today, we've come back to bring the change to complete what we started.
That has been a wonderful performance, and just appreciated.
May God bless all of us in Jesus' name.
Thank you.
Akwa Ibom is so. Akwa Ibom is so. John James Akpan Udoide, the next governor of Akwa Ibom State.
Yes, sir.
An exciting performance there by the mandators. Before then, Dr. Inyo Kobido, State Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Mr. Dan Abia, former Managing Director of Niger Delta Development Commission, Dr. Mrs. Rachel Akpan, and others speaking in support of Senator James Akpan Udoidege's decision to contest in the 2019 gubernatorial race under the All Progressives Congress. Before then, you also had Senator James John Akpan Udoidege declaring his intention to contest as the governor of Akwa Ibom State under the All Progressives Congress in the 2019 general election. He promises to expand infrastructures, create jobs, and invest in agriculture if given the mandate. According to him, his wealth of experience will contribute to aggressive development of the state, what it has yearned for over the years. He solicits the electorate's support for President Muhammadu Buhari to continue as the president of Nigeria in 2019, so that the president can continue to sustain his agenda of stomping out corruption, improved welfare, and social services for the citizens.
I am standing here not to make so much long speech, but I have to give my people the right direction. And there is only one direction for the governorship of Akwa Ibom State. That leadership is Senator John James Akpan Udoidege, APC.
Thank you, please. Thank you. Please, the Racine group is going to entertain us right now in just 2 minutes. Please, we have the children here that are ready to entertain His Excellency in waiting, distinguished Senator John Udoidege. Listen to them.
APC!
Change!
APC!
Change! DJ!
APC!
Raziki! Maximum respect!
I got the music.
Yeah, man!
Raziki! says in my candidate, so don't mind them all never. You be my only one, I wanna be your everything. So they let them pass it by the wish for our love. You be my only one, I wanna be your everything. So they let them pass it by the wish for our love. Ooh, right, become mama, become mama, I wanna be on my foot to you. I wanna go to you whenever you are. I will always be there. Ooh, I let me come, mama. I became mama. I wanna be on my foot to you. On my love to you. Whenever you are, I will always be there. Ooh, I let me come, mama. I became mama. I wanna be on my road to you, on my love to you. Wherever you are, I will always be there.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wonderful children, youngsters, the leaders of tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to appreciate our own that is right here. I'm talking about Right honorable Executive is right here. Please, take it easy, take it easy. It's a special day. Let's listen to our son. Honorable Executive, speak to us.
Let's go. APC, change. Iwelena Foundation. Oruru Obasi. Mabo Iwelena Foundation. Abobo Oruru Obasi. Iwelena Foundation. Oruru Obasi. Kuke Obasi. Ndani on behalf of Iwelena. On behalf of Obasi Mboto Mimi. Kemme Koro Nyine Obasi. Ntinkenyi Elida Minanga Mpinmi. Abasi Eda me fun bote ne mpinemi. Abasi Enang. Abasi Ukod. Abasi Adanga. Abasi Isaiah 18. Ekoptentang Mbo Isaiah 18. Abasi Isaiah 18. Abasi Romans chapter 6 verse 16. All right, yes. Don't you know that to whom you make yourself servants to, you are servants to him, whether unto death or unto righteousness. Therefore, I have agreed, we and Annan people have agreed, because of the righteousness of General Muhammadu Buhari and the righteousness of this leadership led by Uda Rege, we will follow them in 2019. May God bless us in Jesus' name.
Oje, Senator, now soon to become a governor. Senator Dr. Uda Rege.
President Muhammadu Buhari and the formal declaration of Senator John James Akpan-Odoedeye as APC governorship aspirant, brought to you live by the Nigerian Television Authority, Africa's largest television network. On this note, we want to thank you so very much for keeping a date with us on this program. And here is where we draw the curtains. Thanking you so very much indeed for being a part of it. And on behalf of all the OB Live crew, we thank you so very much indeed. Stay on to the NTA.
What? The scoring a football.
I am a grassrooter. Stand by.
And welcome to NTA Nationwide. I am Miriam Akbata. President Muhammadu Buhari is in New York ahead of his address to the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that this is the fourth time the president will be addressing the world's largest diplomatic gathering since coming to power.
President Muhammadu Buhari, accompanied by his wife Aisha Buhari, arrived JFK International Airport, New York, at about 7:30 Sunday evening local time. On hand to receive him were Nigeria's permanent representatives to the United Nations, Professor Dani Bande, Nigeria's ambassador to the United States, Silvanus Nsofo, Minister of Foreign Affairs, the National Security Advisor, and some other senior government officials. And as the 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly formally convenes on Tuesday, President Muhammadu Buhari is scheduled to present Nigeria's national statement in line with the theme for this year, making the United Nations relevant to all people, global leadership, and shared responsibilities for peaceful, equitable, and sustainable societies. He is expected to reaffirm the nation's commitment to, among others, international peace and security, sustainable socio-economic development, climate change, rule of law, and human rights. The Nigerian leader will particularly canvass international support for the fight against corruption, the return of illicit assets, counter-terrorism and insurgency, curbing irregular migration, resettling IDPs, as well as recharging the receding Lake Chad.
You don't have a global stage larger than the United Nations. So when a president can address the world through the United Nations platform, he better bring everything that is very important to him and to his country. But the significant thing for the Nigerian president this year is that he will not only be talking about Nigerian issues, he will be talking about ECOWAS issues, because he's chairman of ECOWAS, so everything that affects the sub-region he can bring up at this global forum now. So those issues will continue to be talked about till we have progress made on them. And I think in the past 3 years, this is the fourth outing that the president has been talking about those issues. I believe we are not where we were 4 years ago on those matters.
During the course of his week-long stay in New York, the Nigerian president will, apart from attending several other side events, is also expected to have bilateral meetings with African and world leaders, including Bill Gates, with a view to promoting national, sub-regional, and African interests.
You know, Nigeria has rediscovered herself and has got its place back in the Committee of Nations. There was a time that other countries drew back from Nigeria, but Nigeria is in the warm embrace of almost every part of the world now. So it's a deepening of that relationship. And as our president meets other presidents, you can be sure that everything that is important to Nigeria will be brought up, particularly those three things that are key to him. Fighting insurgency, uniting the nation, securing the nation, and then reviving our economy, and then fighting corruption. So any meeting he holds, those three issues always come up, and they are for the good of Nigeria.
President Buhari will also grant audience to a select group of Nigerian professionals based in the United States. From New York, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, who accompanied her husband, President Muhammadu Buhari, has arrived in New York ahead of the 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly. State House correspondent Aliu Kabiru reports that Mrs. Buhari will be engaged with the spouses of other world leaders on issues surrounding the need for the enhancement of the lives of women and children.
The wife of the president, who accompanied her husband, President Muhammadu Buhari, for the week-long activities of the 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly, is expected to be engaged fully in the activities of the spouses of the world leaders at the sideline of the assembly. This includes her meeting with the wives of the African leaders at their 21st summit of the Organization of African First Ladies Against HIV/AIDS, AFLA, focusing attention towards eliminating of mother-to-child transmission of HIV in Africa. She is also expected to deliver an address During the high-level stakeholders meeting on the fight against tuberculosis at the Global Ambassador of Stop TB Partnership, among other engagements.
She is also going to present a keynote address in one of the very important sections, which after Mr. President participation in the morning, in the evening she is going to also address the Congress on tuberculosis. She's also expected to be given an award by the Global Women Empowerment Movement here in the United States on her achievements on what she's doing in Nigeria. And she is meeting other First Lady, that the First Lady of Turkey, as well as the First Lady of the Republic of Niger, to discuss issue about the women empowerment, the retention of girls in school, and also to improve the girl education generally in Africa.
Mrs. Buhari is expected to leave New York for Nigeria on the 29th of September. From New York City, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
The move by ECOWAS to sustain the full operational capability of the region stand-by force through rapid deployment has been identified as key towards maintaining peace and security in the region. This is coming from the Commandant National Defense College, Rear Admiral Adeniyi Oshimboyo, at the ECOWAS Command Post Exercise Planning Conference in Abuja. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports.
The conference aims to coordinate and plan for the command post exercise codenamed Jigui 4 and review of work completed since the initial planning conference. Emphasis will also be on the exercise scenario, control, timeline, technical assessment towards achieving robust deliberations and strategies to sustain the ECOWAS standby force full operational capability.
The National Defense College is pleased to host this important conference, which adds up to the series of activities that seek to test the capability of the ECOWAS standby force in conducting strategic and operational level planning and multi-dimensional peace support operations.
Using our regional expertise, building on our training centers of excellence, the experts who are facilitating the work to us, and our own staff within the Commission.
The ECOWAS Peace Support Operation Division is formed by the planning element at the strategic level with 4 components: military component, police component, civilian component, and mission support component, working together to have multidimensional peace operations in our region.
The conference is part of recommendations of the Maputo 5-year strategic work plan on the African Standby Force. From the National Defense College in Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Now to security matters, a comprehensive geo-information map showing areas of threat to national security is to be generated for the military. Minister of Defense Mansur Dan Ali stated this while planning host to the office of the Surveyor General of the Federation in Abuja. Mie Ugide reports.
Just like ants coming out from a wood, advancing to the enemy's camp to conquer. But in achieving this comes extensively with tactical work and knowing the terrain. This, for the Minister of Defense, is critical in winning the war against insurgency in Nigeria. So, a map, especially indicating such flashpoints in national boundaries, is paramount.
You cannot fight any war without knowing your position and the position of the enemy. So you almost cover every defense, security, corruption, and the economy too. So the 3 cardinal principles rest in your office, and your office is being sidelined.
But in the issue of drones, we are putting some already. The one in Kebbi is working. We are putting another one in Castina, putting other ones in Yobe and Borno states.
Barely a week after this interagency partnership, the Surveyor General is leading a team to the boundary of Nigeria and Niger Republic for the assignment. The boundary, which is located in Daura, Katsina State, compelled the team to alert the community of their mission, and a map showing the ancient city of Daura was presented to the Emirate Council.
This is the first time this technology has come to Nigeria. Our staffs will come to take name by name of every street. Thereafter, we will now produce the final map showing the names.
The mapping exercise is expected to cover all parts of the country. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
Now, the presidential direct primary election of All Progressives Congress, earlier scheduled for Tuesday, September 25th, 2018, will now hold on Thursday, September 27th, 2018. A statement signed by the acting National Publicity Secretary of the party, Yakini Nabina, indicates that duly registered party members are to collect their permanent membership cards from their respective wards. Aspirants on the platform of the governing All Progressives Congress for various elective offices in the 2019 elections say the screening exercise by the party has rekindled their hope for transparent primary elections. They shared their views as the party concludes its screening exercise. Political correspondent Saliu Abdullahi reports.
The screening exercise was held in all the designated centers across the country to allow qualified and credible candidates participate in the forthcoming party primary. The exercise was held at 3 centers in the nation's capital, Abuja, for those aspiring to the positions of governor, senate, and House of Representatives.
I think it's very important. I mean, so we do not have to go through some kind of things we've seen in times past where mistakes were made, deliberately or not deliberately.
And one of the things that we are seeing now is that the people are issue-based. They're now looking to know not just what you say that you can do, but what evidence do you have about what you've done.
A few questions were raised, and I'm convinced that I addressed those questions sufficiently.
That if you are qualified to contest an election and you contest, it's compulsory for you to move to serve the nation in the capacity over which you won an election.
It was indeed an exercise that equally showcased the young ones who are taking advantage of the not too young to run bill signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari to actively participate in the elections.
We feel this is an opportunity for us to present a brand new youth.
Best gifts President Muhammadu Buhari has given to young Nigerians is to initiate that social contract. And for the general election, we've started reaching out to volunteers. A lot of youths have started volunteering.
The primary election of the APC is now scheduled to commence on Thursday, 27th September 2018, with that of the president. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
The All Progressives Congress APC Campaign Council for the 2018 Osun governorship election has described as excessive, grandstanding the call by the PDP for NEC to declare its candidate in the polls as the winner. A statement signed by the chairman of Council's Media Committee, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, indicates that local and foreign observers have commended INEC and the security agencies for a well-organized election and decried the PDP's descent into hysteria after INEC announced that the election was inconclusive, noting that rather than resort to threats, the PDP could either go to court or decide not to participate in the supplementary election of September 27th. The council commended the people of Osun State for deepening the nation's democracy in an orderly manner all through the election process last Saturday and urged voters in the areas to be covered by the supplementary election to always ensure a peaceful process on Thursday. And reports just reaching us says a chieftain of People's Democratic Party in Osun State, Fatai Dekola, has been arrested for alleged vote buying. Details will be brought to you in our subsequent bulletin. The All Progressives Congress has stated that the vote-buying template introduced by the PDP and brazenly deployed in the Osun inconclusive elections is an urgent threat to to democracy and current efforts to ensure the sanctity of elections in the country. A statement signed by the party's acting National Publicity Secretary, Yakini Nabina, indicates that the aftermath of Saturday's inconclusive Osun State governorship election has confirmed the People's Democratic Party PDP vow to deploy all means schemes in all ramification and magnitude to rig all coming elections, starting from the Osun State governorship election. The party noted that while the PDP attempts to misinform the public on the rationale for declaring the Osun governorship election inconclusive, they should be reminded that in 2015, the late Abubakar Audu of Kogi State was leading by 240,867 votes to PDP's 199,514 votes, with the margin of 41,353 favored APC, but it was declared inconclusive. At that time, PDP did not protest, but rather prepared and waited for the rerun date. The statement adds that PDP's public rigging method, particularly vote buying and dissemination of diversionary fake news, must be checked, calling on the electorate, civil society organizations and relevant stakeholders to speak out and resist the PDP's retrogressive plans, which threatens our democracy, reiterating that the people's will and vote is supreme and must be respected and defended. The Nigerian police say it is set for the inconclusive Osun governorship rerun election scheduled for Thursday, the 27th of September in some parts of the state. Force Public Relations Officer Acting DCP Jimoh Moshood said this on Good Morning Nigeria while reviewing the Osun elections, saying that with improved security threat assessment, the police force has continued to up its game and avert unlawful conduct.
100 vehicles. If you take 300 vehicles, for example, you have 4 to 6 police personnel manning those vehicles. So if you take that figure, you are going to have much more huge number. But because you have to deploy adequately to ensure that there's a secure environment for election to hold.
For the election observers, there was tremendous improvement with a large turnout of voters who, in spite of monetary inducement, have resolved to vote their conscience.
In some area, if you look at the margin of win, that those cancellations would have made a difference. As such, they declared it inconclusive. That is.
They commended the peaceful conduct of the electorate during the exercise. Now, members of the Buhari campaign organization have been advised to build support groups in their localities to strengthen the organizations towards the re-election of the president. This is coming from the South-South coordinator of the organization, Felix Okomunu, who was at its inaugural meeting in Benin.
Just as other political groups are mobilizing towards the 2019 general election, the President Buhari campaign organization is not leaving anything to chance, as the organization has formally inaugurated a South-South coordinators meeting in Benin City. Coordinator of the region, Comrade Felix Okomunu, says the meeting of the group becomes imperative as it will afford the members the opportunity to map out strategies on how to mobilize and reach out for the realization of President Buhari's re-election ambition.
BCO is a recognized body known to all ministers. There is no minister in Nigeria today, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that will say does not know BCO, because BCO is everywhere.
Is to drive the process of ensuring that the President Muhammadu Buhari, is returned to office 2019.
A former working committee headed by Edo State Coordinator Abdul Ganiu Lawani was set up to oversee the day-to-day affairs of the organization and to report to the General Assembly. President Buhari campaign organization was formed in 2014 with a mandate to build support base for President Buhari and to ensure his re-election come 2019. In Benin, Steve Lonai, Waokolo, NTA News.
9 Nigerian role models honored Jennifer Igwe is standing by in our Lagos studio to bring us details. Hello, Jennifer.
Thank you, Miriam. Thank you for joining us in Lagos. Two former Directors General of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, Professor Bolaji Akinyemi and Professor Joy Ogu, and seven other distinguished Nigerians have been honored by the Hallmark of Labour Foundation in Lagos. Jane Ojukwu reports.
Minister of Science and Technology Ogbonnaya presented the plaques to some of the award winners. They include Justices Adolphus Karibu White and Issa Salami. Others are a chartered accountant and industrialist Onikebo Akonde, educationist Professor Shehu Galadanche and Professor Emeritus Ayodeji Banjo. Others who made giant strides in the area of medicine, Professor Allen Oyedino and Professor Uche Amazigo, were also awarded. The minister charged Nigerians to emulate the role models to build a virile nation.
You have done a beautiful work for a great nation, and Nigeria will never forget you.
Some of the award recipients speak.
I've received several honors before, but this one was particularly important to me. And I'm not usually short of words.
It's nice to work hard and being honored. It's not always that good people are honored. This honor I really appreciate.
Hallmarks of Labour has been celebrating Nigerians who distinguished themselves in various fields for over 2 decades.
These are people who have done very, very well indeed, people who have really impacted in science, in international diplomacy, and in jurisdiction.
Over 20 years ago, to do something positive about this nation, to show that we're not a nation of wrongdoers, we're not a nation of foolish people. We actually have many excellent people of enterprise in this nation.
The award ceremony was also in commemoration of the 22nd anniversary of the foundation. In Lagos, Jane Ojukwu, NTA News.
Nigerians have been urged to resist every attempt to truncate the unity of the country and work to uphold the basic universal values of right to peace. This formed the nucleus of a conference organized by the Justice Department and Peace Center, Maryland, in commemoration of the 2018 International Day of Peace. Chidima Okwono's report is presented from our studio.
Recently, the global community marked the International Peace Day. It provides opportunities for individuals, organizations, and nations to undertake acts of peace and kindness. It also encourages people across the globe to engage in activities that promotes peace. In line with this, the Justice Department and Peace Center held a press conference in Lagos. Director of the center, Reverend Father Raymond Aniliefo, expressed concern over the high rate of insecurity, which he says negates the desires of Nigerians to live peacefully together. He stressed the need for strengthening of existing bonds and institutions that symbolize the indivisibility of the country.
A peaceful world would be impossible if urgent steps were not taken to achieve economic and social development for all peoples everywhere, while ensuring that their rights are protected.
The Justice Department and Peace Center says unity and peace can be further entrenched through a new social and political order hinged on mobilizing the people around common.
Those are the stories from Lagos. Others are. Back to Miriam in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thanks, Jennifer. Well, time to take some messages. News continues shortly.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push
for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
On Tuesday Live this week, we shall be beaming our searchlight on the Industrial Training Fund and how it has fared in ensuring skill acquisition for jobs creation. Tuesday Live at 10:30 every Tuesday promises to be incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
For years, the NTA has been promoting science, technology, arts and crafts under the tagged name National Children's Expo. We are set with another edition as we gather children around Nigeria, junior category ages 6 to 12 and senior category ages 13 to 18. The theme for Expo 2018, achieving self-sufficiency in agriculture, meeting the challenges of security and exposition of alternative energy as pathways to national development. Date, October 21st to 25th, 2018. Venue, NTA Headquarters Arena, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. We are set to celebrate the best of innovation across the country. For more information, please call the following numbers. NTA ETV, promoting learning.
The Presidential Committee on the Implementation of the Transition of Analog to Digital Broadcasting in Nigeria, DigiTeam, is organizing a 3-day training program for broadcast engineers drawn from television stations in the country. The training is aimed at preparing broadcast engineers for an imminent and hitch-free digital switchover. The training will be held in 3 zones as follows: Owerri Zone, 26th and 27th of September, venue, Protel Hotel, Plot H1, Nekede Pocket Layout, New Owerri. Ibadan Zone, 3rd and 4th of October, venue, Marv 21, Adeoyo Junction, Ring Road, Ibadan. Kaduna Zone, 9th and 10th of October, venue, Kini Country Guest Inn, Just Road, Akwanga. Broadcast engineers under the respective zones are invited for the training program. Signed, Chairman, DigiTeam.
Fake news which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security in Nigeria. Misinformation as fake news is a serious threat to our hard-earned democracy and promotes hatred and misunderstanding between our communities. We are all responsible for stopping the spread of fake news in its tracks. So, always check the source and credibility of any news item. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Thanks for staying tuned. In a bid to stem the fight against human trafficking and migrant smuggling, global experts converged on Abuja to forge a common front against the menace. Francis Form reports that participants from about 70 countries are attending the conference. The report.
The gathering is to collaborate on ways to assist the police around the world to synergize, to prevent and fight international crime and offer a high-tech infrastructure and operational support to meet the growing challenges posed by criminals and crimes increasing across borders. The 6th Interpol Global Conference on Human Trafficking and Migrant Smuggling is, among other things, aimed towards providing global view on current threats and trends, the financial flows behind the crimes, the crucial role of cross-sector partnerships, how to overcome obstacles, as well as the use of technology and data in investigation. In his message to the conference, President Muhammadu Buhari pointed out that unless nations fight corruption, the people's commonwealth in developing countries like Nigeria will end up in private pockets, exposing youth to poverty and vulnerability to trafficking.
Collaborative efforts of our relevant security agencies have resulted in several interceptions, arrests, and prosecution of traffickers and smugglers, which resulted in 359 convictions over time.
Nigeria remains steadfast in its commitment
to address human trafficking and people smuggling. And I would like to commend the progress it has made in contributing to the Interpol Global Early Warning System.
The Nigerian police have been at the forefront in the fight against this menace, and its commitment is demonstrated in collaborative efforts with the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP.
Director General, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, calls for a collaborative effort to fight the ugly trend.
People are becoming more aware, and it means that we're winning the fight against trafficking.
The conference continues on Tuesday.
The Presidential Committee on Northeast Initiative says it is implementing the Buhari plan in mitigating humanitarian and developmental challenges in the Northeast. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria say though much has been achieved, final resettlement of internally displaced persons in some areas is subject to security clearance. Lydia Sampson has the report.
Before the establishment of the Presidential Committee on Northeast Initiative 2 years ago, the Northeast was besieged with different organizations rendering various humanitarian assistance without proper coordination. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria said the PCNI has lived up to the expectation in the last few years of its existence.
The Buhari plan is a blueprint, and the document came about from assessments of major partners like the NEMA, like state governments, and the RPBA of the World Bank and UN agencies. These are assessments that they have done of destroyed communities, of vocations and occupations that have been lost, of what it takes to rebuild the Northeast in terms of even monetary and financial terms.
The PCNI is deliberately embedded into all the sector working groups because this gives us a holistic view of what everybody is doing in the Northeast, and also, like I said, allows us to fill in gaps where gaps have been found to exist.
They said some organizations still insist on working on their own with the claim of not wanting to compromise the principle of neutrality. For Dr. Bula Mamali Gubil, it is high time such principle is reviewed.
Neutrality is where two countries are fighting a war. Then you can be neutral. If it is a civil war, you can be neutral. If it is communal clash between two communities, you can be neutral. But not when the entire community don't know who is attacking them. They have not offended anybody. They have not opposed Boko Haram. They have not even a stick to fight Boko Haram. They don't know where Boko Haram is. They don't know who is the leader of Boko Haram, and they are being killed. Their communities are destroyed, and you say they are equal partners.
The PCNI has provided humanitarian assistance in various sectors such as healthcare, feeding, and resettled thousands of IDPs. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
In line with federal government's quest of improving power supply, Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has handed over the new 1x60 MVA 132 kVA power transformer at the Okbela substation in Edo State. Governor Godwin Obaseki, while receiving the facility, described the development as the beginning of better things to come. Good luck, and Naini has the details.
The Okbela 1x15 MVA 132/33 kV transmission substation was an old substation with a limited capacity to adequately supply electricity to Okbela and environs. It was as a result of these, TCN awarded the contract for the upgrade of the substation in 2012 to improve power supply in the area. Chairman, Nigeria Electricity Regulation Commission, Professor James Momo, revealed that communities in Edo North had suffered immensely due to the absence of electricity, thereby resulting to poor industrial development of the zone and the state at large.
Make sure you all
begin to learn some new skills so that you can take advantage of the power in the backyard, because we don't want power to just be in one place.
For Governor Godno Baseki, who is elated by the development, the plans by his administration to industrialize the state has received a boost and expressed gratitude to President Muhammadu Buhari for the gesture.
For you coming in to help us spark the electricity industry by increasing the capacity of this substation by over 300%, on behalf of the people of Edo State, I want to say thank you very much.
The Managing Director of TCN, Usman Mohammed, disclosed that the installation of the 60 MVA 132-33 kV in Okwila was consistent with the industrial policy of Edo State government. Some leaders in the area expressed their views on the development.
This is a true reflection of God's word, which reflects truth and justice.
This is not the first time TCN is making its presence felt in Edo North, as record has shown that TCN also successfully installed 40 MVA at Auchi 132-33 kVA substation. From Okwila, I am Goodluck Inaini, NTA News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Ondo State Command, has destroyed illicit drugs of about 110 tons. Chairman and Chief Executive of the agency, Mohammed Mustafa, who monitored the exercise in Akure, said diversion of land for cannabis cultivation instead of food and economic crops has resulted to soil degradation and deforestation. Olubukola Aduo reports.
Investigations revealed that hard drugs ranging from cannabis, also known as Indian hemp, cocaine, tramadol, and other psychoactive substances are increasingly available on the streets in most towns across Nigeria. It is also discovered that the connection between drugs and crimes cannot be overlooked. To curb this menace and save several youths who are on substance abuse, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA Ondo Command, destroyed about 110 tons of cannabis in Akure, the state capital. The agency said the quantum of drugs destroyed calls for concerted efforts from all stakeholders in addressing the menace of drug in the country.
Between January and August, we have destroyed over 351 hectares of cannabis plantation within the state.
The state government also promised not to relent on the support extended to the agency. In Akure, Olubukola Aduo, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on network servers of NTA. Please stay tuned.
Really can't wake me for death. As my matter be, it be like he say, person die, person God he can't wake him. Now so Buhari can't wake me from death. But I not get something when they go give her unless thank you. I did get change to make farm. Then he helped me house. The house when I did before, he dey link. Before I born 5 pikin. You know, I don't get food when I go give them. That's why I share them. But now my pikin they near me. Someday with me now. No be like before. I happy. I thank you well. I no see him, but God go carry my I do a computer where I dey.
Zuma Film Festival 2018 Abuja. Theme: Archiving for Creativity. Date: December 1st to 7th, 2018. Featuring film screenings, masterclasses, special tributes, NFC Annual Film Lecture, NFC Annual Essay Competition Awards, special national and state days, Lifetime Achievement Awards, and Zuma Film Festival 2018 Awards. Submission of entries for non-competition, competition and screening is ongoing and closes September 30th, 2018. All entries should be forwarded to the festival director, Zuma Film Festival Nigerian Film Corporation, headquarters in Jos, and or its zonal offices in Abia, Lagos, Kano, Asaba, Yola, and Abuja. Or through the Film Freeway online platform, www.filmfreeway.com. For further inquiries, call 0033146842, 08052728321, or 08063390420, or visit the website www.zumafilmfest.gov.ng. Zuma Film Festival 2018, December 1st to 7th, Abuja, Nigerian's foremost film festival.
Yeah, Modena. Mode. Do you have Yamala? Yes. And Abula? Yes, sir. Black or white? Yamala. Have I ever eaten white Amala here before? Yes, sir. Give me Amala and Abula. Do you have dodo? Dodo ground. Good. Let me have some dodo. I want you to put the meat in a bowl. Shaki, suku, abodi. I like my edo to be very tender. You have stockfish? Yes, sir. Good. Let's have some stock. And the catfish, my favorite. Don't mind them. Look, you have eggs. I would like 6 boiled eggs. No eggs. Okay, the catfish will do. And then rice. Rice and then some salad. Look. Do you have a guru?
When you hear that sound, you know that Nigeria's most authentic newscast is about to begin. NTA Network News, breaking the news.
Thanks for being there. Now to judicial matters. In Nigeria's journey for an improved democratic culture as the nation approaches the 2019 general elections, the judicial arm of government has promised to ensure its independence and stricter timelines for the determination of cases. Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onogen, stated this at the commencement of the 2018-2019 legal year of the Supreme Court. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okeowo reports.
The annual calendar of the Nigerian judiciary ends in July of a year, while another year begins in September. The 2018-2019 legal year leads into a general election year, and while the judiciary must continuously run as it has normally done, particular attention is being placed on the evolution of the nation's democracy, which is why the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onogen, at the opening of the new legal year promised that administration of justice will be strengthened.
Continue to play the role of independent, dispassionate arbiter without fear or favor, affection, or ill will.
Minister of Justice in his message commended the performance of the nation's courts, but called for a review of the vacation system of the nation's judiciary.
Of the capacity of the judicial arm to constantly renew and transform itself through a periodic review of its system and processes. I hope my suggestion will therefore be treated as an input to the internal process.
Other speakers called for a strengthening of the judiciary for the benefit of the nation's polity.
The temple of justice must not be sullied or degraded by and with unproven, often malicious and baseless allegations and innuendos.
Investors, especially foreign investors, first consideration for deciding whether or not to invest is the reliability and efficiency of the judicial system of the country.
All personalities in the nation's judiciary are well aware of the fact that 2018-2019 legal year is bound to be very critical in the nation's quest for its political development. It is in that light that they are all concerned about the contribution of the judiciary for the nation's political and economic development. From the Supreme Court, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
Well, let's shift our gaze now, shall we, to foreign news with Uche Ugochukwu. Maldivian President Abdullah Yamin has conceded defeat in the presidential election, saying he accepted people's mandate. Senior opposition leader Ibrahim Mohammed emerged victorious with 134,616 votes, according to the provincial results announced by the Maldivian Election Commission. Yamin secured 96,132 votes. Official results are due to be announced before September 30. The trade fight between the United States and China intensified on Monday as the two economic superpowers hit each other with their biggest round of tariffs. The Trump administration imposed new 10% tariffs on $200 million of Chinese goods, spanning thousands of products. China retaliated with new taxes of 5 to 10% on $60 billion of U.S. goods. The moves are a significant escalation in the growing conflict between the world's top two economies. And Ebola prevention activities have been suspended in the Democratic Republic of Congo city of Benin after a deadly rebel attack. Treatment centers will, however, stay open, but vaccination and the tracing of people who have been in contact with suspected Ebola patients will be halted. The country's health ministry reports that 100 people have died in the current outbreak in the northeastern parts of the country. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News. Now to sports. Nigeria's D Tigresses observed Monday as rest day at FIBA Women's World Cup in Tenerife, Spain, as Team Tech Vibe opened with victory in 2018 NCC Tennis League. Amanzi Marcus has more on Sports Update.
After losing their first match against Australia, Nigeria's national women's basketball team, the Tigresses, found their rhythm on Sunday, defeating Turkey 74-68 in Tenerife, Spain, venue of the FIBA Women's World Cup. The country's representatives lost the first quarter 7-15 and trailed 17-22 in the second, but they won the third and fourth quarters, with Seda Ogoke registering 22 points and Evelyn Akato winning 13 points. The Tigresses' next game is against Argentina on Tuesday. The fourth edition of the Nigerian Communications Commission Tennis League started weekend at the Package B section of the Abuja National Stadium, with Team Tech Vibe winning 6 of 7 matches decided over 2 days. Nigeria's number 1, Joseph Ime, opened with victory for the Jos-based side, defeating Uche Okwaraji of Team Goshen of Ilorin in 2 straight sets of 6-3, 6-3 in the men's singles. In the women's singles, Anu Ayebusi of Team Tech Vibe beat Blessing Samuel of Goshen from Ilorin 6-2, 6-4.
And when I got to the court today, I just said, let me just play my best. And I'm really happy that it works out for me very well.
The dignitaries at Saturday's opening ceremony commended NCC for contributing towards the development of Nigerian tennis.
This is what we crave for in the ministry, because when you have a lot of competition, the players now have the opportunity to sharpen their skills.
We expect to develop new talents, and also we expect those who have been participating previously to enhance their talents.
12 teams have registered for the 2018 edition of the NCC Tennis League. In Abuja, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
Thanks, Amazi. And now to weather forecast. Well, that's our package on NTA nationwide. Thanks for watching.
Does scoring a football goal and mathematics have in common? In the world of Ubongo Kids, everything we do can be related to math and science. Join Kiduchu, Kibena, Koba, Amani, Baraka and their animal friends as they solve problems and go on fun learning adventures.
Don't you see it? We're going around the moon.
Watch brand new episodes of Ubongo Kids, Nigeria's favorite educational cartoon show, every Saturday at 9:30 a.m. on NTA.
I am Adeola Omokibi, and the program you're watching is Sports Real. Keep a date with us.
Fans, they don't understand the rules or the laws of the game.
Hello and welcome to that program of yours on the NTA Sports Channel, Knowing Golf.
Thanks for joining us on another edition of Sports Guest on the NTA. My name is Kenneth Emma Abodike. Welcome indeed to Saturday Sports Arena on the NTA Sports 24.
It would not be if you continue to just have these vague means of saying things are the yardsticks I want to use.
League Service, a program designed to bring you up to speed with happenings in Nigeria football leagues. I am Adeola Omokibi, and the program you're watching is Sports Real. Keep a date with us.
Fans, they don't understand the rules or the laws of the game.
Hello and welcome to that program of yours on the NTA Sports Channel, Knowing Golf.
Thanks for joining us on another edition of Sports Guest on the NTA. My name is Kenneth Emma Abodike. Welcome indeed to Saturday Sports Arena on the NTA Sports 24.
It would not be if you continue to just have these vague means of saying things are the yardsticks I want to use.
League Service, a program designed to bring you up to speed with happenings in Nigeria football leagues.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Hi! Look! A banana on a bike.